Welcome to Live Daf, your online Daf Yomi Shir.
Shalom Aleichem, welcome back to today's Daf Yomi, which is CHAGGIGA Daf Yud Gimel. We are right on the top line. Yesterday we learned about the Shiva Rakim, the 7 layers in Shemayim. Each one houses a certain element of the spiritual reality, whether it's Malachim, etc. The highest form, the highest Madrega, is the 7th Rakia, where we have the Chayos, we have the Srafim, on top of which we have the Kisi HaKavod. Says the Gemara, Omar Rav Acha bar Yaakov, Oid Rakia Echad Yesh, Lamala Merashe Echayos. There's actually another one, another layer, another covering, over the Chayos, over these Malachim. So the Chayos, the Srafim, they are situated in Aravis, which was the top Rukia, the top heaven, so to speak. Above them is some sort of covering, a curtain, a Rukia over them. By the way, they're called Chayos, Miloshen Chiyus, life. They exude pure life. They're light, they're moving, they're not weighed down, they're an expression of true life. So on top of them, there's another rakia. The chsiv, the pasuk says, "Zudmus al roshei hachaya rakia ke'ena kerach hanoira." So above the chaya, there's some sort of rakia, a spread over them. Says the Gemara, "Ad kan yesh lecha rishus ledaber." Until this point, until the 7th rakia and the coverage over the chaya, that's your limit. Until which point you could discuss and contemplate. It's within our ability to relate to it, albeit on a spiritual level, but we can relate to it. But past that is beyond our reach, beyond our comprehension. Past that, you're not allowed to, you have no ability to relate to. It's beyond even the deepest of the deep. The Gemara elsewhere, several times we find the Gemara will quote from this book of wisdoms called Sefer Ben Sira, and he used to say like this: don't try to expound on things which are beyond you. Don't try to investigate things which are hidden from you. You have enough. You have enough to do with things that are within your reach. Contemplate into things that you may, that you could. Let go of the hiddens and the secrets that are beyond you. Tanya, we learned in the Brisa, Omar Rabban Yochanan ben Zakkai, Ma tshuva heshivosei basko lo Isa Rasha. Isa Rasha here is Nebuchadnezzar. What response did he get from Hashem? What basko rang out? B'sho she'omar e'ele el bomesei of edam ele elyon. When he said, look, I'm going to rise up in a cloud and all the way to Shemayim and equate myself, chas v'shalom, with Hashem. What was the response from Hashem? Yotzes a baskel v'amrali. A baskel rings out and tells him, look, Rasha ben Rasha, you're Rasha, son of Rasha, ben Oishel Nimrod Rasha, the grandson or descendant of Nimrod. What did Nimrod do? Nimrod, as his name, is Merida. Shehimrid es kol ha'olam kulo elav b'malchusa. He caused the world to rebel against Hashem during Nimrod's reign, during his malchus. He was busy rebelling against Hashem and asserting himself. And you're continuing the tradition. You're keeping the legacy. Let me put you in your place. Let me enlighten you and present you the perspective. What we're speaking about here. How long does a person live? Shivim shana. Okay, 70. Typically it's 70. Even Mikvurois. If it's super strong, it's Shmoinim Shana. Okay, so 70, 80 years. It's not going to get you too far. The distance between earth until the first Rakia, Rabbi Yehuda says we're speaking about the Kabbalah here, not necessarily physical things, more spiritual things. There's all kinds of concepts as distance, the physical world and the spiritual world. In any case, the Rakia is very far away. It takes 500 years to get there. How thick is the Rakia itself? The first Rakia, another 500 years worth. Mahalach, 500 shana. V'chein, and the same distance is duplicated bein kol rokia v'rokia, between each one of these layers. Between each one of these 7 rokim, the gap between each one is 500 years worth of travel. Okay, so you get to the top, so it's pretty much 7 times 500 plus the gaps. So it's 14 times 500. We're speaking about 7,000 years of travel. We're not done. We're far from done. What's above that? The chayes, as we learned. The chayes, israfim, ulama lemehen chayes hakodesh. The chayes are quite large. The Gemara will now use an analogy, comparing it to sort of an animal, and we'll go from the bottom incrementally, going up to the top, part by part, bone by bone. Ragle hachayos, the bottom portion of their legs, is connected kulam, is equal in size, equal in height, to all the rakim and the gaps that we spoke about. So we're speaking about another 7,000 years worth. Let's proceed upwards. Karsuli hachayos, the next bone, the upper bone there, is also connected kulam, is equal in size to all those rakim as well. Shoki achayis, the next bone is connected kulam as well. Ruchuvi achayis, the next bone is connected kulam. Yarche achayis, the hips, also connected kulam. Guvi achayis, the actual body of the malachim, is connected kulam, has the same size as all these rakim put together. Savore achayis, there is necks, connected kulam. Roshi achayis, connected kulam. Karne achayis, the horns of the malachim, connected kulam, are equal in size to all the rakim. And once you get to that point, you're at the highest of the high. Lemala mehen kisei kavod, Hashem's throne. But even that takes a lot to travel through. Ragle kisei kavod, the legs of the kisei kavod are equal in size to all the skies. Kisei kavod connected kulam, the actual kisei is connected kulam. And finally, melech kel chai v'kayim ram v'nisa sheikhan alema, which was Hashem Himself kaviyachol. And you're going to say, Va'ato amarta el bamasei av adam elya, and you can travel upstairs and join Hashem chas v'sholem. You're not going to get too far. Rather, ach el shoel turad el yarkisei bar, you'll descend down to the deepest of the deep into Gehenna. The Mishnah spoke about limiting our discussion pertaining to these lofty esoteric topics. V'loy b'merkava b'yachid, you're not meant to engage in discussion regarding masa merkava, the heavenly arrangement, the heavenly chariot, even with a yachid, unless this yachid is a quite lofty fellow. He's a chacham, he's mevin midaito. You just give him a couple of headlines and he gets it. So he has it within him to figure things out without much expression, without delving, without making a scene, and that keeps the concepts and the musagim under wraps, and is covered, is honorable for this concept. Tani Rabbi Yehuda, aval moisron loy rashi prakim. So although we're careful not to expound on these concepts with an individual, but if you can just give him the headlines, rashi prakim, a couple of hints, and he can get the rest, that's okay. Amar Rabbi Zera, a moisron rashi prakim elala av bezdin. Who's going to be zeicha to have Rashi Prakim? You can only hand it over to a Av of the best. And likewise, to any person who is Liboy Dayeg, he's very sincere, very erlich. So it's either or. Either the Av Bezdin, or a person who displays fine character traits and he takes it very seriously. Ikadamri is another version of this statement. V'hu. Both conditions have to be met. You can pass on this information in a brief, concise fashion to an Av Bezdin who is Liboy Doyeg Bekirboy, who has this quality as well. Amar Rabbi Ami, a Moisrin Sisrei Torah. All these secrets of Torah, Rashi says, Maaseh Merkava, Sefi Yitzira, Maaseh Bereshis, all these things you only hand over to a person who is worthy of it. He displays these 5 qualities. Sar Chamishim, he's 50 years old. He's reached that point of maturity. He's a highly respected member of the community. V'yoyetz, he has the secrets of the Ibur HaChodesh, Ibur HaShana, all the mathematical calculations pertaining to the heavenly bodies. V'chacham, Charashim, he's so wise that as soon as he starts speaking, everybody turns to him. They ignore, as though they're deaf, they ignore everybody else and they go straight to him. He's speaking such pearls of wisdom. V'navoin, Navin is Maven Dover Mitach Dover. He really has that added wisdom. And Lochash, he is worthy of being whispered to. We whisper to him the brief descriptions of these things of Masa Bereshis and Masa Merkava. V'amar b'yami ein ma'isrin divrei Torah lo ovid kichav. You're not meant to hand over divrei Torah to a guy. Shenamar lo yasa kein lechal guy. U'mishpatim bal yidom. Hashem doesn't want us to do that. Mishpatim bal yidom. They're not meant to be informed of our mishpatim. Asks Tosfos. Don't we already know this halacha from a Gemara in Sanhedrin? Ovid kichav ha'isik b'Torah. A guy who learns Torah is chayiv misa. So it's much more than just a recommendation based on a pasuk in Tehillim. A chayiv misa. And says Tosfos, that's speaking when he can't really achieve the knowledge on his own, so you can't sit down and teach it to him. But let's say he has access to the Torah. He can go online. He has access to the Torah. And now you're just helping him out. In that case, he says, you're not really being over on lifnei iver le'siten michshel. Right? The kasha was, he gets misa for learning it. You can't hand him something which brings about misa. It's like lifnei iver le'siten michshel. You're not meant to pose an obstacle in front of a blind man. But in this case, where he has access on his own, you're just making it easier for him. Lifnei iver doesn't apply. But there's another concern based on this pasuk. Lo yasa chen lechal goy. Keep away, withhold the Torah from the guy. Amar le Rabbi Yehuda and Rabbi Lazar, to agmarach b'masa merkava. Come, I'll teach you masa merkava. You want to hear? Amar le, so Rabbi Lazar responds, like I show you, I'm not mature, I'm not old enough to be worthy of learning these topics. Kikosh, when he got older and he was holding out the point that he was worthy, boom, nach nafshe Rabbi Yehuda passed away. Amar le Rabbi Asi, so Rabbi Asi was a Talmud of Rabbi Yehuda, and turns to Rabbi Lazar, come, I'll teach you Masa Merkava. Amar le, so Rabbi Lazar responds, Izakoi, had I have been worthy, I would have learned it not from you, the Talmud. I would have had it from you, Rabbi Yehuda, and apparently I wasn't zeicha to it. And the Piskei Riyaz says we find that even the Gdolei Chachamim would hesitate and would refrain from delving into these topics. They considered these topics to be too far beyond, and they didn't see themselves worthy of engaging in these topics. So he avoided it, and he didn't learn it. Rabbi Yosef have a gomer Masa Merkava. Rabbi Yosef had actually learned Masa Merkava, and Sabei the Pumbedisa, other Chachamim from Pumbedisa, have a Tane b'Masa Bereshis. They didn't know Masa Merkava, which speaks about the heavenly spiritual realms. They learned Masa Merkava, which pretty much discusses the physical aspect of how Hashem created the world, basically the events that occurred during Sheshis Bereshis. Actually, a little more than the Psukim describe. It's more like the inner workings of the Bria, but more in a physical sense. Pretty much what the Rambam in the beginning of Yisrael Torah goes through. He says that those are discussions about Masa Bereshis. He speaks about the 4 elements that we find in the world and how the stars rotate. All these things are called Masa Bereshis. Pretty lofty, but not on the same level of Masa Merkava. So he learned Masa Merkava, and they knew Masa Bereshis. Amrullah said they approached him and they said, Ligmar lan Masa Merkava. Ligmar lan Mar, Masa Merkava. We know one half of the story. Could you teach us the other half? Masa Merkava. Amrullah, he says, look, we'll make a fair swap. Agbarunli Masa Bereshis. You teach me Masa Bereshis, which I don't know. Okay, so they agreed. Basa the Agman, once they taught him the Masa Bereshis, Amrullah, they told him, okay, keep your deal. Ligmarun Mar b'Masa Merkava. Can you teach us Masa Merkava? Amrullah, he tells them, look, after having associated with you, I don't think you really. He didn't see them to be worthy of this type of limud, and he kept it away. Taninabu, we apply the following pasuk pertaining to Masa Merkava. Dvash v'cholav tachas l'shenich, and we learn dvarim hamasukim v'dvash v'cholav, things that are sweeter than honey and milk, the secrets of the Torah. Yehu tachas l'shenecha should remain embedded beneath your tongue and not revealed to others. So he refused to teach it to them. Rebavo Amar B'Hacha, From the following pasuk, we see the same. Kvasim lilvushecha. We darshan. Dvarim shem kivshayne. Instead of kvasim, it's kvashim. Things which are the hidden secrets of the world. Kivshayne shel olam. You, tachas lilvushecha, should remain beneath your garments under wraps. Amalei, to the Sabed Pumbedisa, told Rav Yosef, actually, we learned part of the psukim in Yecheskel, which describe the heavenly arrangements of the malachim. Taninan behu ad vayomer elai ben adam. So in Yecheskel, we have the first parak, which ends. The last few psukim end with a description of the malachim and the chashmal, things that we're going to learn about soon. So that's the last two psukim, and then we have the next parak, which begins with vayomer elai ben adam. So the Sabi Pumbedisa Torah said, we learned in depth, we comprehended the first parak of Yecheskel all the way until, not including the second parak, which begins with this pasuk vayomer elai ben adam. So he told him, you got it. Amar lehen, amalu, hein masam merkava. If you learned until this point, you've gone through masam merkava as well. You don't really learn anything from me. Because the last two psukim of the first parak, that is the essence of Masar Merkava. Meisvei asks the Gemara Kasha on this. The last two psukim of parak 1 on Masar Merkava, the Brisa says, Adhechan Masar Merkava. When you learn through the first parak of Yecheskel, until what point is Masar Merkava? Rabbi Yehuda ad ve'era basra. So if you look at the parak of Yecheskel there, you have 3 times the term ve'era. Until the last ve'era in the parak, which is pretty much the beginning of the second to the last pasuk, until that point is Masar Merkava, which sounds like the last two psukim are outside, are beyond, are past Masar Merkava, not discussing this topic. That's a Rebbe. Rabbi Yehuda ad chashmal. A bit further, another 2 words. Because ve'era ke'en ha'chashmal. So until chashmal is Masar Merkava, which implies that past that is no longer Masar Merkava, which doesn't fit with Rabbi Yosef, who told them that the last and final psukim of that first parak is Masar Merkava. And says the Gemara, no, the other way around. We misunderstood the Brisa. Ad ve'era migmarinan. Brisa meant like this. There are 2 parts to Masar Merkava. It's the most simple surface description of the malachim, and that goes on until, and not including the last 2 psukim of the first parak. So you start the first parak, you read until the last 2 psukim, not including. So that's a lower level Masar Merkava, which we're allowed to learn, we're allowed to engage in. The secrets aren't so deep. Ad va'era magmurina. Until that point, we can learn. Mikan ve'elach. But once you get to that point, once you get to that last va'era, once you get to the last 2 psukim of parak Aleph Yecheskel, Masrin and Rashi Prokim. Here we're speaking about the most loftiest concepts, secrets that are not allowed to be revealed, rather only in a very subtle way, as we explained earlier. Ikad Amri, there's another version, slightly different. Ad ve'era Masrin and Rashi Prokim. Until ve'era, we can teach in a subtle form, just giving over the headlines to the Talmud, for him to understand on his own. Mekan ve'elach. Past that, that's already higher and deeper. Imu chacham evim medata. If he's a chacham and can comprehend through his internal capabilities, fine. So we allow him to partake. Iloi, but otherwise we don't teach it to him. So the bottom line is, it seems like we have 2 halakim, 2 levels, 2 phases of Masar Merkava, all in the first parak of Yecheskel until the last 2 psukim. That's the lighter phase. Once you get to the last 2 psukim, now we're dealing with heavy and deep secrets. Asks the Gemara, Umi darshina b'chashmal. So chashmal is, we said, within the last 2 psukim there. Is one allowed to engage in learning chashmal? A person who's roy, a person who's worthy, all these madregas, but is it possible for a human being to comprehend? Is it allowable? Is it accessible? We have a story. There was this youngster, the darsh b'chashmal. He was studying chashmal, and what happened? He got burnt up. A fire came flying out and burnt him up. Apparently, you're not meant to engage in learning those topics. Shani Yanuka. A young man, he's different. The loiv mati zimne. A young boy is too young. He hadn't yet reached the age of maturity. which make him roy to learn this. But if somebody who is at that level is allowed to learn. Reminds me of a story with the Chavetz Chaim's Rebbe. Chavetz Chaim had a Rebbe called Rav Nachum Mehorodna. Big tzaddik, a big... Chavetz Chaim said that he probably one of the Lamed Vav tzaddikim. He wasn't so well known, a humble man, but a huge tzaddik, and he was the Chavetz Chaim's Rebbe. He had an interesting practice. Listen to this. Every night he would disappear into the shul. Shul was dark, locked up. He would go in there himself. Only he had the key. He would come in and spend some time there. Chavetz Chaim was a bacher then, a youngster, and he was curious. What is this Rebbe doing in the shul all the night? He decided he's going to investigate. He's going to figure this out. So that night, by Ma'ariv, after davening, he slipped under a bench. So nobody sees him. They all left the shul. They shut the lights, locked the door. And he was waiting under the bench, waiting and waiting. Pitch black darkness. A couple hours later, he hears footsteps approaching the shul. Lock opens up, the door creaks open. Somebody walks in. And he's listening from underneath the bench how he's approaching the bima. And suddenly, he sees light, fire, something beyond, something supernatural, a spiritual fire, enveloping his Rebbe, who was standing and learning, apparently learning Kabbalah or whatever, by the bima, in a dark shul. The malachim, the srafim, the chayes, they came to listen. They enveloped him in this heavenly, most beautiful fire. And he was watching it, he's like, I couldn't believe it now. But now he knew what his Rebbe does in the middle of the night. And he revealed it later to Talmidim, perhaps after his Rebbe's P'tira. So the Eish, the heavenly spiritual fire that enveloped the tzaddik, when he was engaged in the highest form of learning Torah, connecting to Hashem. So Baruch Ber Leibowitz, the Rosh Hashiva of Kamenetz, before the war, so when he heard the story, he says, look, you know what impresses me more? That the fact that Rav Nachum was zoicha to the malachim surrounding him, the fire enveloping him. Okay, we know Rav Nachum was a big tzaddik. But the pella, the wonder to me is that the Chavetz Chaim as a youngster, as a bacher, was zoicha to... It's not a physical fire you just see. It's something that you comprehend, that you relate to, if you're really zoicha to it. As a bacher, as a young bacher, he was zoicha to see this fire, these malachim surrounding his Rebbe. That's impressive. Continues the Gemara. Amar Rabbi Yehuda Baram. But in truth, Zachor Oisoi Ishlatov. There was a person who will always be remembered for the good. Who's this fellow? The Chananya ben Chizkiah Shmoy, the big tzaddik, the big chacham Chananya ben Chizkiah. Ilmolihu, if not for him, Nignaz Sefi Yecheskel. Sefi Yecheskel would have been put away into Shemais. Why? Show you Dvarav Seisrin Divrei Torah. Because it appeared like the words of Yecheskel contradict Divrei Torah. So the Gemara here doesn't bring the details, but elsewhere the Gemara speaks about, for instance, there's a pasuk there. A Kayin may not be eating an Avela. Only a Kayin? What about a Yisrael? So a lot of things which seem to contradict the halachas of Torah. But he says, look, Yecheskel wrote it. It's reliable. It's authentic. We have to figure it out. We have to break our heads to figure it out. What did he do? He went for it. Ma'asa. Heloloi gimel meis garbi shemen. They brought him up 300 barrels of oil so he can use for kindling, for a light at night. V'yoshev b'aliyah v'darsha. He sat up on the second floor. He quarantined himself. That's it. Until I figured it out. And he clarified all the words in Sefer Yecheskel. Tana Rabbana Ma'asa b'tinik echad. It was a story involving a youngster. She'yikoyer b'beis rabbi b'Sefer Yecheskel. He was learning Sefer Yecheskel by his Rebbe. And he had the proper understanding. He was able to comprehend. Somehow he was on a level that he was able to understand the true meaning of Chashmal, of these psukim of Ma'aser Merkava v'yotza eish mechashmal v'sarfa. And a fire came out from that word, from the concepts that he was learning, and incinerated him. Vikshu lignei Sefer Yecheskel. As a result of this story, they decided, we're going to hide Sefer Yecheskel. We don't want people to have access to it and put them in danger. Amar lem Chananya ben Chizkiah. So Chananya tells them, Im zeh chacham, just because this youngster happens to have been a chacham, that's an anomaly, that's unusual. You think everybody has this madrega, all youngsters will understand, will be affected by the words of Yecheskel? Nothing to worry about. Ma'e chashmal. What does the word chashmal mean? Amar Rabbi Yehuda, chayes eish memalalis. Chashmal. Chayos, the malachim, eish memalis. When they speak, it's fiery words. Masnei Satan, and the Brisa we learned. Chashmal means chash, silence, and mal, expression, speaking. Itim chashashos. At times they are silent. Itim memalis. At times they speak and they sing shira. When is that? B'sha'a shadibur yoytze b'Hakadosh Baruch Hu. When Hashem is speaking and giving nevuah, chashos. It's time for them to be silent. Ub'sha'a she'ena dibur yoytze b'Hakadosh Baruch Hu. When Hashem is not speaking, memalis they speak. The pasuk in Yecheskel says, "V'chayos rotzoi v'shoiv k'marei habazak." The chayos run to and fro like the flash of fire coming through the bazak, coming through some broken shards of pottery. My rotzei v'shoiv. What does rotzei v'shoiv mean? How do we describe this? Amar vida k'ur hayotzim pi'akivshin, like a flame of fire flying out of the smelting pots. Sometimes like the fire just jumps out for a second, jumps back in like a lightning that comes and goes. You know, the Svarim, especially the Hasidic Svarim, cite this Gemara, this pasuk of rotzei v'shoiv, going and coming. A person rises and gets inspired by an inspiring event, a good word, a musar shmuz, a yamtiv. But then you have to come back to reality. You take that inspiration and you bring it back into this world. We have to live, we eat and sleep with human beings. Things aren't always so inspirational and lofty. So it's a rotzei. You fly up, you grab a hold of that inspiration, v'shoiv, and you return, bring it back down to reality, and incorporate it into our lives. So that inspiration is amazing, but we can't live inspirational our whole life. We take that inspiration and use it to propel ourselves further in our ordinary day-to-day life. So that's the rotzei v'shoiv. My kemari habazak. So they're running to and fro, and there's a flash. Kemari habazak. Amar Yisrael Chanina k'ur hayotzim ben acharosim, like a little fire, flame coming between the pieces of cheres in the smelting pot. So Yecheskel describes as follows: Va'era, I saw the following vision. V'hinei ruach sa'ara ba'aminat safai. There's a stormy wind arriving from the north, from Bavel. It's described in Nebuchadnezzar. Anon gadol, a great cloud. Ve'ish mislakachas, there's a fire of v'negel yisaviv, surrounded by brightness. Where was this stormy fire going to? It was coming from Bavel. What for? Amar Vida Marav, it was representative, it was indicative of some major event taking place in the world. Hashem was coming forward, so to speak, to conquer the whole world and submit it into Nebuchadnezzar's malchus, to subjugate the world under his malchus. Why? What's the point of doing this? Klal Yisrael were meant to go into Galus at that point, go into Bavel. Hashem didn't want us to fall into the hands of just some nitpick guy. It's not honorable for us. Hashem wanted to give us an honorable Galus. So we're subject to a great king, a powerful king. The nations of the world shouldn't be able to say, shouldn't degrade Klal Yisrael by saying, look, Hashem handed over his sons to just some lowly nation. Jesus brings the Gemara in Gittin, whoever challenges Klal Yisrael, makes it difficult, is usually in a high position. This is the point. Hashem wants us to have an honorable Galus, an honorable Einish. If we need to be there, at least let it be becovered. As a result of this, Hashem says, Mi garam li she'eya shamash lo'evdik psilim. Who caused me to be a shamas, to serve the goyim, to prop them up, to give them authority? Avani essentially Yisrael and Garmali. The verse of Yisrael, which required them to go into Galus, and subsequently have to go ahead and prop up the goyim who are going to host them. So Yecheskel speaks further. Va'era, I saw the following vision. Va'era ha'chayus. So these are the malachim. V'hinei oifan echad ba'aretz. Oifan is one of the types of malachim. Oifanim v'chayis ha'kodesh. So I saw him as follows. He extended from the aretz. Oifan echad ba'aretz. It's la'chayis. He was on the aretz, and he was near the chayis. The question is, the chayis are not on the aretz. Where are the chayis? on top of the world, the Aravis, the seventh Rukiah. So how could the Oifan be on the one hand Ba'aretz and on the other hand by the Chayos? Omar Belazar, generally not, but there's a specific Malach who extends from here to there. Malach Echad Shu Oimed Ba'aretz. It's a Malach who stands on the Aretz, V'roisha Magia Itzla Chayos. And his head extends all the way to the Chayos. Masisa Tana, the Brisa we learn, son Dalfan Shemoy, that's his name. Hagavoy Mechaver Malach Hamesh Me'es Shana. He's 500 years taller than his colleagues. So you'll ask, well, the Eretz is way more than 500 years from the Chayes, as we learned earlier. So the Mepharshim say that the Oifen here isn't literally Ba'aretz. He's lower than the Chayes. So he's relatively Ba'aretz. He sort of relates to us here on earth, as we're going to see in a minute. So what is he doing? He stands behind Hashem's Merkava. And he ties, he affixes crowns to Hashem Kaviyachal. Taisus brings, the Ksarim are mitfilos and shal tzadikim u'oisa ataris. He takes the tefillos of Klal Yisrael and uses them to adorn Hashem. So that's what it means, he's Ba'aretz. It means he relates to the events down here on earth. He reaches over to our tefillos and brings them out to Hashem. Aini, is that so that you can just position yourself behind Hashem? The pasuk says, Baruch Kvod Hashem Mim Kaimai. So they bless Hashem Mim Kaimai without knowing where he is. Michlal, apparently. Nobody knows exactly where Hashem is. Hashem is beyond Makim. So how can he relate to Hashem? The Amar Shem Atag. The answer is he would apply a Shem HaMafurish to this crown. And the crown itself would find its way to Hashem, to Hashem's head. Amar Rav, find something interesting, very interesting. Yecheskel Hanavi elaborated in great detail. He was very specific, very excited about what he saw. I saw this, I saw that. Whereas Yeshaya Hanavi presented his vision in a more subtle fashion, in a more toned down expression. Amar Rava. The truth is they both experienced the same thing. Kol shera Yecheskel, whatever Yecheskel saw, Ra Yeshaya experienced as well. Lama Yecheskel doime. So why that difference in the way they describe? Because Yecheskel is doime leben kfar shera samalach, like a villager who got once in a lifetime opportunity. He saw the president, he saw the king. He relates it with such great excitement and in minute detail. That's how Yecheskel described his visions and his experiences. What's Yeshaya compared to? A city dweller who sees the king, every Monday and Thursday he sees the king. Nothing exciting about it. So his presentation was a more subtle, toned down presentation. What does the pasuk mean? Ashir al Hashem, I will sing to Hashem, ki goy go. He raised above the ones that are raised. Shira lemishim is goy ala game. I'll sing and praise to Hashem who is above those who are raised themselves. So he's beyond the ones that are even elevated. He's elevated over the elevated. Damarmar. Melach shebechayis ari. Amongst the animals, who's the king? Who's the most courageous? The melech. He is the ari, the lion. Melech shebebehemis, amongst the animals, the shor, the ox. Melech shebe'ovis, amongst the birds, nesher. Eagle flies the highest. V'adam is goy alim. And the person, he considers himself to be more powerful than all these. He rules all the animals. V'akadosh Baruch Hu is goy al kulam. Hashem is above the person as well. So Hashem is ki goy go. V'al kolayim kulayim. Ko'osav echadayim. We have a steer within the Psukim in Yecheskel describing the Merkava, which contain 4 forms. The face of a person who rules the animals, right? The face of the lion, Melech of the Chayes, an image of an eagle, who is the Melech of the Eifes, and a shor. So all are represented in Hashem's Kisei HaKav, Hashem's Merkava. Udmus Pneim, Pnei Adam, we have the face of a person. Upnei Ari Ela Yamin. On his right, we have the lion's face. L'arba'atam, and all these images were really sort of a montage. They incorporated the other images as well. So primarily it was a person's face or a lion's face, but it had elements of the others as well. It's sort of all incorporated into each other and complement each other. Upnei Ashur, Masmo, on the left of the Adam was a Shur, Lar Batim, so a total of 4 images. So person, lion, ox, and we're missing one. The V'gomer. It's the Nesher, right? The eagle. Okay, Uksiv, next pasuk says, four psukim later, V'arba panam le'echad. Here are the 4 panam. Pnei echad, pnei akruv. One is a kruv, a young child. Upnei hasheni pnei adam. The second one is the image of a person. V'ashlishi pnei arya, we have the lion. V'ravi pnei nesher, the eagle. What happened to the ox? V'lu shor like a chashiv. Amar Shlakish. Initially it was there. Yecheskel asked Hashem to remove it, to replace it with the kruv. Yecheskel bikish olav rachmim. Yecheskel davened to Hashem v'hafchel kruv and turned the ox into a kruv. Why? Amar lefanav. Ribbon Shloim. Kateger, a prosecutor, Yasas Haneger, can turn into a defense advocate. The image of the shur is reminiscent of our Avera, tremendous Avera, the eagle. Right? Part of the same family, the shur, the eagle. So we don't want that upstairs. How can the Kateger advocate on our behalf? We need Rachmanas upstairs. Rashi says, "Onotzrichem sheyivakshu markavoisecha aleinu rachmim." The Merkava has to beseech upon for us. So we don't want the shur upstairs. So Hashem turned it into a kruv. My kruv, what is a kruv? Amar avo kiravya, kiruv, like a little child. She came to Bavel, currently Yenuka Ravya in Bavel, they call a Yenuka, a child, they call him a Ravya. So the Ein Yo says, based on a Medrash, the point of switching it into a Ravya was to indicate, look, we were young and immature in the Midbar, Hashem don't hold us accountable for what we did. And that's the significance of switching the shur to the kruv. So kruv is a youngster, El Me'ata. T'chsiv pnei echad pnei akruv, pnei hasheni pnei adam, ashlishi pnei arya, v'ri pnei nesher. So you're going from kruv to adam to the other ones. Well, kruv and adam are the same thing. They're both human beings. Hainu pnei kruv, hainu pnei adam. Answer is, depends what size. Api ravravi, adam is a mature face. Api zutri, the small one, that's the kruv. We have one pasuk which speaks about the malachim and describing how many wings they had. Pasuk says they had how many wings? Sheish knafayim le'echad. So each one had 6 wings covering him. Because the next pasuk says v'arba panam le'achas, v'arba knafayim le'achas lahem. So the pasuk later on in Yecheskel speaks about only 4 wings. So the previous pasuk is in Yeshaya. Right? Yeshaya describes them as having 6 wings that shield them, whereas Yecheskel goes down to 4. How can that be? Like Kasha, the answer is depends at what point in history. When the Beis Hamikdash was standing, they had 6 wings. After the Beis Hamikdash was destroyed, they lost 2 wings. As though to say, that 2 of those wings were deleted, were removed. Hi Manayu Imud, which ones were taken away? Rabbi Chanana or Rav Oisen She'em Shira behind the ones that are used for Shira, the middle ones. So we have 2 on top over the face, 2 over the legs, and 2 in the middle of the body. Those are used for Shira. Because over here we speak about 2 of those wings that are used to fly around and to sing Shira. It says those 2 help them fly around and sing Shira. Uksiv, and we have another pasuk in Mishlei, Hasif einecha b'y veinenu. So we have a drasha, lashon Hasif Ya'ifev can sometimes be removed and diminished. So the Shtaim Ya'ifev were taken away as a direct result of the Churban HaMikdash. And Rashi says that corresponds to Yecheskel and Yeshaya. Yeshaya spoke about the Malachim in full gear, full uniform kaviyachal, their full capacity, when the Mikdash was around and everything was in place. Whereas the pasuk speaking about 4 is Yecheskel speaking. He says, Shkvar Gia Zman She'yocharev, the time for the Churban arrived, and Bekarev was about to be destroyed. And the heavenly arrangement, the Malachim, were affected as well, because we, Kaviyachal, sort of influence everything, even upstairs. So Klal Yisrael's shortcomings and Averis affected the entire arrangement upstairs, and they lost some capacity to sing Shira, etc. So according to Rav, the middle section was missing. The Shtayim Yoifiv. Rabbanon Amri, and other Rabbanon say differently. Oyeson Shemachas ben Ragleim, the two wings which they used to cover, to shield their feet. Those went missing. Shnemar v'Ragleim Regli Yeshara. Yecheskel describes the Malachim as having a single, straight foot. By the way, that's why we stand Shemana Esrei in that manner, because we want to stand like the Malachim. So we combine our feet. It should look like it's one single foot. So their feet were exposed. Vilav the imut. If not for the fact that their wings that used to shield and cover the legs were removed, how would he know what the legs look like? Apparently those were missing. What do you mean? Maybe they got uncovered for a moment, and he saw it. Because if you don't agree to that, what about the pasuk that says that their faces appear like an Adam? How do you see the faces, which are meant to be covered and shielded by the kanafayim? Here too, they're going to say the wings on top of their bodies weren't missing. That's not true. Apparently they just got revealed. And he noticed the faces for a moment. So when it comes to the legs, the gloi v'chazilei, perhaps the legs got revealed and allowed him access. Well, how could you compare two things? When it comes to the malach's face, the gluye kamei rabbi, it's appropriate for the malach to reveal his face in front of his rebbe, so perhaps he saw them in action. Kari, but his legs, it's not the rech it's the gluye kamei rabbi for a malach to reveal in front of his rebbe. And other than the theory that we had that the wings were totally removed, there's no other way to explain how he was able to notice the legs. So we have two shittas, which wings went missing, the bottommost or the middle layer. We have another stira regarding the malachim and Shemayim. There's a pasuk in Daniel. Thousands upon thousands of malachim serve Hashem. Tens of thousands stand before him. So we have a number. The other pasuk says limitless, beyond numbers. Hayesh mispa l'gdulav. Is there any way of applying a number to Hashem's battalions of malachim? So does it have a number or not? The answer is depends what point in history. Kam is Manshah Beis HaMikdash, and the Mikdash was standing. Everything was unlimited and bligvul. Kam is Manshah Beis HaMikdash, after the Churban Mikdash, things were diminished and minimized. Kaviyachol shenismata pamal shamali, Hashem's entourage was affected by our misdeeds. So the heavenly arrangement is reflective and indicative of our madrig in this world. We generate the power, we create the malachim. It's all dependent upon us. Tanya, Rabbi Yehuda, he has another pshat, another answer to the kash. Mishum Rabbi Yosef ben Nisoi. Elef alf nisham shunei. When we speak about thousands, that's mispar gdud echad. That's the number of malachim in one battalion, in one group. Ul gduda vein mispar. The other pasuk speaks about how many battalions there are. Ein mispar, no limit to that. But Rabbi Yehuda Ba'aba Omar, here's another teretz. Elef alf nisham shunei lahar dinar. Thousands upon thousands, they relate to Nahar Dinar, some sort of phenomenon Shemayim. Shanamar Nahar Dinar Negad v'Nafak Mekadamoy Elef Alf Nisham Shunei. So the thousands pertain to this river called Nahar Dinar. V'Riber Vavan Kadamoy Yukuman. But the other malachim, the limitless malachim, that's something unrelated to Nahar Dinar. Rather, they're Hashem's entourage. Says the Gemara, once we're on the topic of a Nahar Dinar, where does it flow from? What creates Nahar Dinar? Me'echan nafik. The answer is Mizayasin shel chayes, the sweat. They tremble, they fear from Hashem. The sweat generates this river. Leichan shafach. What does it flow to? Amar Zutra bat Tuvia Marab al Reish Risham beGehenim. It's applied to the Gehenim, the Risham Gehenim. Shnamar Nahini Sa'aras Hashem Chema Yotza B'Sar Mischilel al Reish Risham Yachal lands on the Risham. Rav Achabar Yaakov Amar. This Nahar Dinar was applied to the following: Al Asher Kumtu. Kumtu is a lashon of decreed. There were certain neshamas that were meant to have been created, but never were created at that time. Rather, Hashem dispersed them throughout the Duras, as we're going to see in a minute. So somehow the Nahar Dinar relates to those neshamas. Shnema asher kumta v'lo eis nahar yutzak yisoidem. Tanya, Omer Rabbi Shimon HaChassid. Who are these neshamas, these unborn neshamas? Elo teshami ois v'shivim v'arba durs. 974 generations, shakumta, which were meant to, libaras, to be created, koidem shenivra oilam, before brias oilam. They were not created. Let's go to Rashi on top here. Koidem shenivra oilam. Before the brias oilam, Hashem had decided to create 1,000 generations before Matan Torah. Nigzar aleim libaras leis koidem Matan Torah. To give the world the opportunity to develop and be worthy of the Torah. So we need 1,000 generations to that point. L'kayim ha'shnamar, fulfillment of the pasuk. Davar tziva l'elavdar. Torah was given l'elavdar. Ru'ya t'haisa Torah l'inasan l'seif elavdar. Initially, the Torah was meant to be given after 1,000. It didn't pan out. K'shirah she'ena olam miskayim b'lei Torah. Once Hashem saw it, the world can't survive without Torah. It's not going to work. Amad v'tar. Hashem removed those neshamas. V'nasan l'seif avdaris. Instead, Torah was given merely after 26 duras. So what happened to all those unborn neshamas? Continues the Gemara. Hashem took them, removed them, and replanted them, dispersed them throughout the duras. Now, really, these neshamas are pre-Matan Torah neshamas, which aren't really so lofty. They're a little bit on the crude side. They don't have the kedushas HaTorah, which helps us purify ourselves and improve ourselves. So these neshamas are azei panim. They have a certain element of brazenness and roughness. Therefore, Hashem didn't bring them out all at once. Those are the brazen people you find in the Deiris. They're taken from that supply of the pre-Matan Torah neshamas. And Tesis brings that really why they getting the Nahar Dina? What's not their fault? Not doing anything wrong. So Mfarshim say it means it's like this, that these neshamas, the azei panim, aren't really well-behaved people, and therefore eventually they get the Nahar Dina gets applied to them to purify them, to set them straight, to punish them, whatever. Rav Nachman bar Yitzchak Amar, he has another pshat in this pasuk. Asher kumtu v'lo eis nahar yutzak yisoidam. He puts a positive twist on it. Asher kumtu levracha d'chsiv. The pasuk is expressing something positive, actually. Elu talmidei chachamim. Asher kumtu al talmidei chacham shemekamtim. Bach says shemekamtim as atzman mishena al divrei Torah. They force themselves. They pain themselves. They invest great effort. They go sleepless nights in order to learn Torah b'olam hazeh. And as a reward, they get this Nahar Dinar. HaKadosh Baruch Hu megalem soid l'mabah. So Hashem reveals to them the secrets of Torah, the hidden portion of Torah, and reconnects them to the most lofty and esoteric and depths of Torah Kedosh. Shneimar Nahar Yitzak Yisoidam. So they get the Nahar, the Yisoidam, the notion of Soid of the Torah, as a schar for them toiling and putting in such great efforts in this world, which takes them only up until a certain point. Hashem completes it and gives them the Soidus HaTorah, connects them to the deepest points of Torah, deepest points of connection to Hashem, L'Osalov. Okay, let's make a quick chazara of today's daf. We learned about the Shiva Rakim and the distance between each Rakia. We learned about Nebuchadnezzar attempting to rise up and climb upstairs, and Hashem tells him, you're a Rasha, and you're not going to make it upstairs. We learned about the qualifications of a student who one may teach Masa Merkava to. We had the story of the fires that consumed the youngsters who engaged in Masa Merkava prematurely. We learned about the Chayas being Rotzi V'Shoiv. We learned about the Nebuchadnezzar being propped up in order to be able to host Klal Yisrael honorably. We learned about this Malach Sandalfine who reaches down to our tefillas and brings them up to Hashem. We learned about the difference between Yecheskel, who so excitedly related his experiences, whereas Yeshaya, who was more accustomed to it, related in a more toned-down fashion. We learned about how our Ma'asim affect the heavenly entourage, the Churban Beis Hamikdash, diminished the koyach of the malachim, and we learned about the Talmidei Chachamim, people who are Ma'aseh Nefesh for Torah. They're zeichet at the Soidus Olam Haba. B'suras Tevis and Hatzlacha Rabba to you.